Sandor Clegane was a man known across Westeros. Most folk called him the Hound. This name was not given lightly. It spoke of his fierce nature. It also pointed to his family's sigil, 3 black dogs on a yellow field. He was a warrior, and his reputation was built on fear and strength. People knew him as a dangerous man. He served powerful lords, but his loyalty was often a complicated thing. He walked a dark path, one that many whispered about in halls and taverns alike. His story is one of pain, anger, and perhaps a search for something he could never quite name. He was born to House Clegane, a lesser house sworn to the Lannisters. He served the Lannisters directly for many years. He was even appointed to the Kingsguard, the sworn protectors of the king. This was an odd choice, as he was no knight and spat on their vows. Whether he found peace in death or continued to wander, his mark on the world was undeniable. Sandor Clegane was a man of formidable size. He stood very tall, taller than King Robert Baratheon and even Jaime Lannister. Though not as colossal as his brother Gregor, he was still a giant to most men. His frame was heavily muscled, built for fighting and enduring hardship. He possessed a raw, powerful strength that few could match. His hair was long, dark, and often unkempt, falling across his brow. His eyes were a piercing grey, often holding a cold, assessing look. The most striking thing about Sandor's appearance was his face. One side was gaunt with sharp cheekbones and a heavy brow, the face he was born with. The other side was a horrifying ruin. It was a mass of slick black burn scars. Craters and deep cracks marked the flesh. These scars were a constant reminder of a childhood trauma, a brand he wore for all the world to see. Sandor Clegane was known for his deep cynicism. He saw the world in shades of grey, mostly dark. He had little patience for pretty words or noble ideals. He believed that strength and violence were the true rulers of the world. This outlook made him seem bitter and perpetually angry. He was temperamental, quick to lash out, verbally or physically. He wore his cynicism like a suit of armour. It protected him from a world he believed was full of liars and hypocrites. He trusted few and expected the worst from everyone. His personality was shaped by several deep-seated hatreds. He loathed fire with an intense, visceral fear. This pyrophobia stemmed from the horrific burns he suffered as a child. He also despised his older brother, Sir Gregor Clegane, the man responsible for his scars. This fraternal hatred was a driving force in his life. The event that defined Sandor Clegane's life occurred when he was just 7 years old. His older brother, Gregor, who was already a brute, found Sandor playing with one of Gregor's discarded wooden knight toys. In a fit of rage, Gregor grabbed young Sandor. He dragged him to a burning brazier. Without hesitation, Gregor shoved his little brother's face directly into the hot coals. He held him there, searing the flesh from one side of Sandor's head. This act of unimaginable cruelty was swift, brutal, and left scars that would never truly heal, both on his skin and in his soul. The aftermath of this horror was a lesson in the world's injustice. Their father, the head of House Clegane, did not punish Gregor. Instead, he covered up the incident. He told everyone that Sandor's bedding had caught fire. This lie protected Gregor and taught Sandor that truth and justice were illusions. Queen Cersei Lannister saw a use for Sandor Clegane's brutal efficiency. She assigned him as the personal sworn shield to her son, Prince Joffrey Baratheon. Sandor held this position for many years, a constant, grim presence at the young prince's side. Joffrey, in his cruel and arrogant way, seemed fond of Sandor. He often called him Dog, a name Sandor accepted with his usual stoicism. He was Joffrey's enforcer, a tool to intimidate and punish those who displeased the prince. This service placed him at the heart of the Lannister power structure in King's Landing. As Joffrey's bodyguard, Sandor was a fixture in the Red Keep. He witnessed the endless political games, the lies and the cruelty of the court. He rarely commented on it, his scarred face a mask of indifference. While Joffrey seemed to enjoy his company, Joffrey's younger brother, Prince Tommen, was terrified of the Hound. While serving Joffrey, Sandor Clegane was often tasked with guarding Sansa Stark. Joffrey took great pleasure in tormenting his betrothed, and Sandor was a frequent witness to this cruelty. However, he often treated Sansa with a strange, rough sort of kindness. He tried in his own way to shield her from the worst of Joffrey's sadism. He mockingly called her Little Bird, a nickname that acknowledged her helplessness, but perhaps also a fragile beauty he saw. He warned her about the dangers of speaking too freely, trying to teach her survival in a harsh world. Their relationship was complex and unsettling. Sandor was the only member of the Kingsguard who was never ordered to beat Sansa, or if he was, he found ways to avoid it. During one drunken encounter, he spoke more freely to her. He admired her growing beauty, but also warned her that she was surrounded by liars. He asked her to sing him a song about knights, a request tinged with his usual cynicism about them. He offered her a brutal form of protection based on fear rather than honor, telling her that everyone was afraid of him and he could keep her safe. After Sandor fled King's Landing, Sansa Stark found herself missing his grim presence. She kept his bloodied white Kingsguard cloak hidden, a secret memento of the man who had, in his own way, protected her. She even came to believe, or perhaps wished, that he had kissed her the night he left, a moment fans refer to as the unkiss. Meanwhile, Sandor was a vagabond, a deserter. He was eventually captured by men loyal to the Mad Huntsman. They, in turn, delivered him to the Brotherhood without banners, a group of outlaws who also happened to be holding Arya Stark captive. Within the Brotherhood, Sandor faced accusations for the atrocities committed by Lannister forces, atrocities he was often associated with due to his service. However, it was Arya Stark's personal testimony that led to a formal charge. She accused him of murdering her friend Micah, the butcher's boy. This led to a trial by combat. Sandor's opponent was Lord Beric Dondarrion, the leader of the Brotherhood. Beric fought with a sword that was magically set aflame. The journey with Arya Stark took a dark turn at the inn at the crossroads. They encountered several of Gregor Clegane's men, including Polliver, who had stolen Arya's sword needle, and the Tickler, a notorious torturer. A brutal fight erupted. Sandor, despite his skill, was outnumbered and took on Polliver. He managed to kill Polliver, reclaiming Needle for Arya in the process. However, during the melee, Sandor sustained severe wounds. Arya, fueled by her own rage, killed the Tickler and a young squire. Though they won the fight, Sandor was gravely injured. His wounds from the infight quickly became infected. He grew weaker, feverish, and was clearly dying. He knew his end was near. In his pain and delirium, he pleaded with Arya to give him the gift of mercy, a quick death to end his suffering. Sandor Clegane's words were often as sharp as his sword. Many of his notable quotes reveal his deep disillusionment with the world, especially with knighthood. He once told Sansa Stark, "Spare me your empty little compliments, girl, and your sirs. I am no knight. I spit on them and their vows. My brother is a knight." This statement perfectly encapsulated his contempt for the hypocrisy he saw in chivalry. He believed true knights were a myth, a pretty lie told to children. His own experiences, particularly with his brother Gregor, had poisoned any respect he might have once held for the institution. His pronouncements often reflected his own pain and his grim, pragmatic worldview. Having suffered horrific burns, he had a unique perspective on suffering. He told Sansa, "The Septons preach about the seven hells. What do they know? Only a man who's been burned knows what hell is truly like." This wasn't just about physical pain. It hinted at the psychological torment he endured. He also famously stated, "There are no true knights, no more than there are gods. If you can't protect yourself, die and get out of the way of those who